am going to record. So again, my name is Angie Falbo. I am the Professional Development Specialist with ATDN, focusing on ESL and citizenship. So in case you didn't know, my little spiel here, the ATDN, the Adult Training and Development Network, is funded by the CSDE to provide training opportunities and resources for adult education programs across the state. It's home to professional and comprehensive in-person and online trainings for adult education professionals in numerous areas across the state. So we're just happy to help, happy to support wherever we can. I gotta say that just like you, this is an area that is very important to me and I'm very passionate about because I myself, my family immigrated here. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart, the whole process, the citizenship process, the stories, the hardships, the beautiful things of it. So very near and dear to my heart. So I'm happy that we get to be together to have those conversations, to go a little bit more in depth and continue to help students. So, really quickly, I have some goals for today. Very quick. We're just going to go through some updates or just some new things that are happening. We're going to provide some resources again. I always like to do this, and then we're just going to open up for a discussion. We're going to be able to just share ideas and also have a discussion question that I'm very curious about right now, as everything that we're going through as a country, as a society, to hear a little bit more feedback about what you're listening to, what you're experiencing in your areas. So I did see Jennifer pop in. Jennifer, welcome. How are you? If you could really quickly just tell us your role and where you are, because we would just like to get to have a better sense of who's here.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Smith from, oh, I know Katrina. Martha, I think I've met you before too. New London Adults Education ESL Program Coordinator and Citizenship Teacher.
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hi.
Hi.
And this is going to be as a roundtable, right? We're going to be having a discussion. So please feel free if you would like to jump in and say something, comment on something at any point. We're going to have a set time for discussions if you have anything that you would like to bring yourself. But at any point, feel free to jump in. So as a disclaimer, I always have to say this at the beginning of anything. This is information that I have up to now, that is out there up to now. It can change drastically at any moment. Also, it is important to remember that we are not qualified to provide legal advice to our students. Just keep that in mind. Always refer them to just lawyers out there that will be willing to help because we don't want to get them in trouble. We don't want to get ourselves in trouble. So just always like to point that out there before we get started. So, some of just updates and news. There was an email that was sent out, I would say about a week or a week and a half ago, with just some resources to different directors, program facilitators, different things about, it looked just like this, about if you wanted to know some immigration updates. And some of these are things that were given at our last citizenship roundtable, but also just some places that you can turn to in case that you need to look for immigration support, like lawyers, legal services, and then also just knowing some of the news stories that are happening right there. And you will get this PowerPoint. Everything is hyperlinked on here, so you will be able to click on it. That way you have easy access and can also share it with everyone else. We have things like USA Hello, which we talked about last roundtable. It's great at having some, and I can click on it very quickly, just having some information about the current immigration changes. They do a great job of posting the articles. So if you're not using it or don't know of it, this could be a great resource for you to turn to. Then we have things like this one in case you just want to know real like nitty gritty stuff, very basic information. And what in policy does is that it just collects all the where to load, collects just all the immigration policies that have come up. So if you really just want to know like, very basic what's going on, then you can click on it and it has just what's been going on. And this is a project by Yale and Stanford students that are just it's really not too biased or anything. It's just like this is what's going on, which sometimes it's good to know just the facts. Then it has two organizations that do provide services. One is CIRI, the Connecticut Institute for Refugee and Immigrants. If you don't know of it, it could be a great place to turn to. They have several offices throughout the state. So there might be one near you if you're in those areas. I can't quite remember all the offices. I know they have one like in New Haven or some in Bridgeport. some in those areas, but just could be great places to turn to. Also, the American Place in Hartford, I know a lot of people refer them to there. They're quite busy at the moment, but also just a resource for you to turn to. Then we have this, All Sides, which is a great website that was given to me, and I loved it ever since I heard it. This is just great to know any form of media, right? We have the biggest headline right now, according to them, is this. So you can see, from the right, from the center, from the left, and just that news article in different perspectives, also to kind of get a well-rounded idea of it. So it's just something to keep in mind of that sort of thing. You can scroll down, has all sorts of articles that's happening right now in the news. And then you can sign up so that they send you the biggest story of the week every week. So just to keep in mind. So again, this is just something that went out to directors, program facilitators, different people, um, for them to know and what's going on if they wanted to keep up to date. But I do want to mention that I hope you are getting the monthly newsletters that are going out for ESL and citizenship teachers. If you are not, please let me know. I can definitely add you to that email list because I want to make sure that I'm reaching as many people as possible. It does have, some news things that's going on, but it also has a lot of resources that you can use, a lot of lessons that I already created, a lot of, supports, things like that. So please make sure that you're getting it. If not, email me or put your email in the chat. I can add you to that list already. So has anyone seen the newsletters? Is everyone getting them so far? Yes. Wonderful.
Yep,
Another
I get them. And I really like USA Hello. I've shared that with the teachers.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's a great resource. Okay. It's definitely also I like to tell people, let me know if there's something in particular that you want to see in those newsletters. Like if you're struggling with a certain aspect or having a really hard time with a specific set of vocabulary questions or something, let me know because then it might be something that I can push out to everyone else and I can find resources for that, help you with those specific areas. And we can add it to the newsletter. So always feel free to shoot me an email at any time and I'll give you my email at the end if you don't have it. And just let me know. That's what I'm here to do for you. All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay. All right. So, one other thing that just came out literally like 30 minutes before we hopped on this call, and it was sent to me by one of my colleagues. And I was taking a look at it. Is this article by the Washington Post that just came out this morning, and it's about refugees, and it might not necessarily directly affect you, but it can affect you in the future because what's going on is that it seems that they're kind of putting harder, stricter laws on refugees and saying that if they're not becoming permanent residents within the year of being here or really trying to push for that, they're kind of being reevaluated to see if they can keep their refugee status, all those crazy things. So it's a lot going on. They're kind of putting harsher laws on them. However, that set aside, you can do your own research on that and kind of look into that more. That might change numbers in the future. It might change the people that you are getting into your classrooms a lot more because if a lot more people are being forced to become permanent residents and then eventually go into the citizenship track, it's good to just kind of keep an eye out for that of what's going on with them, the refugee statuses and the pressures that they're facing, or if you have people in your classes that have family members in that situation, it's good to just kind of understand a little bit more. Like I said, this is something that came out 30 minutes before we got hopped on, so I don't have all the information on it. I did link the article here if anyone would like to take a look at it, if they have access to it. But if anyone else knows anything that has to do with this, please feel free to jump in right now. It's very, very new, brand new, but I did thought it was worth mentioning for this.
I don't think the link works. Oh, maybe it would.
It will.
PowerPoint, unless you put it in the chat.
Yes, I can put it in the chat. It's not you wouldn't be able to click on the link right now because I'm the one sharing the screen. But if give me one, I can open the link and send it in the chat if you want to take a look at it. It's totally fine.
You all get the weekly, or actually it's just a website from the American Immigration Lawyers Association, which is AILA.org. They have daily immigration news clips, and I can see, Angie, that they've just posted the Washington Post story, but they'll probably be posting articles as they're updated too. They put out the clips every day from around the country. So that's a good resource.
Yeah, that's a really good resource. Definitely gonna put that
I
one
try
in
to
the
like
chat.
look at it every day at lunchtime just to see what's happening out there.
Yeah, exactly. And again, um it might not affect us directly right now, right where we are at, but it's just good to keep up with all this information and these changes that are going on. Um, you never know. You never know what your students are going through in your classes, or again, if they have family members going through this or anything. So I did put both in the chat if you'd like to take a look, the Washington Post and then the AILA resource. Mhm. Okay. Any other thoughts on that? Wonderful. Let's take a look. All right, so now getting on to other resources, actual concrete resources that you can use. Citizenship News, if you are not using it or do not know about it, it's a great resource as well. Um, when you click on it, it's by Lynn Weintraub, which she is wonderful. She has so many resources. It has a lot of different things. She does have some books that are for sale that are great. However, there's also a lot of different free resources on here. So you have some helpful links. You have just different posts that she makes. So if you scroll down the Citizenship News, there's all sorts of different things here, and she's great at also keeping up to date with what's going on and making sure everything is updated. So one of the things that she does have on here is from Voices of Freedom, which was given, like shared with her. So if you don't have this, it's like a test supplement, and it's 128 pages, so it's quite long, but it has all sorts of practice questions and vocabulary. So it will take a little while to get through, but it does, if you want to print stuff out to match with things, and it is updated, so it's the most current version of the test. So it's for the 2025 version. So if you do have students taking both, um, it might be a little complicated, but this could be helpful for your students taking the new version of it. Again, just another resource that does have the practice questions and answers. These could be easily, printed out, maybe folded in half, so they can quiz themselves. They can have it as a nice resource there to have, or flashcards, or however you choose to use it. But just Voices of Freedom has this great free kind of textbook or practice book of it to help you with
Angie, do you know anything about their plans to reissue a new edition of Voices of Freedom?
that. That I don't know.
I don't either. The
Um,
last I asked, which was, it might have been before New Year's, they didn't know. Okay.
I had a conversation with Pearson one time, and I, some maybe it was a different publisher. They told me it's just not profitable to produce those books and to update them. They don't make a margin. They don't make the money that they need to make on those.
Yeah, no, that's totally possible, and we've probable, more than possible. Yeah, and I mean, our years too. My concern is just that our students have up-to-date information, that we're not mixing and matching.
And those are really current. There's not a lot to update because it's English. It's
Well, the content, there's a lot to update in terms of the questions and the acceptable answers. I mean, I think there's enough that's different that we don't want to rely on the old books at our place.
yeah, because even just the wording of things, like you said, could change slightly, and it can make a
Yeah.
big
right.
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay.
I think that this is just what was put out by and it's here.
No, that's great. And it looks like it has a 2026 copyright on it, which I think is newer than the other supplement that I had from Pearson for Voices of Freedom, which was I think a shorter document. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, this was yeah. This is what she posted about it, and it's from Bill Bliss.
Yeah.
um so
Okay.
again,
That's
if
great.
yeah, that's all. I'm sorry, I wish I could have an answer for you for that.
No, this is good.
Alrighty. And then let's see, we have so looking at kind of the other side of things, the N400 application. So this one is um kind of interesting if you're gonna look through it and use it. What it is, it's that it's annotated so that it understands, like people understand like what they're supposed to put in each section. It could just be good to go over to explain, what that means and things like that. So even something as there was one on here that says like what their race is. That's sometimes confusing for people, or like how do I put this? Like, what do I write down? And it just gives you like, okay, put whatever would be like on your license, whatever would be, things like so, like very simple explanations. Um, even like social security number, right? But it says like here you would have to put like a valid social security number that you were given, blah blah blah. So it's just an annotated copy of the N400.
This is great.
So it's just to use however you'd like. And then it is linked on here, so when you get the PowerPoint, you can click right on there. Last one is just the low cost or free legal services if you're looking for some more ideas. What it does is that it actually has for the whole country. So even if maybe you have a student who's moving somewhere else, or they have family somewhere else and you're like, I don't know where to send them to or anything, what you do is you just type in their zip code. Already on flat and then up in this area right now. So it gives you all the different offices that have either free or like reduced cost legal services, and they can be contacted, but it's just a quick way. So everyone in the area, Waterbury and Britain, different things like that to be able to do. Um, so just, so that way you have some more places to refer people to, because I know the ones that are very popular right now, the ones that were sent in the email are very busy. So just some other options for you out there as well.
Where was this? This is listed in the resource brochure?
Yeah, so this will be when I send out the PowerPoint after we get off the call, I will send the recording of this session
Okay.
and the everyone, so you will be able to have this
Okay,
all
thank
in.
you.
Yeah, of course. All right. So I think that is all I really have for you on my end. I was just giving you things, but now I really would like to hear from you. And I think this is a question that I'm very curious about is what are you doing right now, or how are you handling the situations when your students are coming to you telling you that they're scared or that they're worried, or that they're like having to deal with that anxiety or um, kind of stress right now that everyone is feeling. So I would love to hear some of the things that you're doing to help this situation right now.
I can talk. We've in the USA Hello has a good section on being prepared, and just things that they can do. So, we definitely, a lot of our students are very anxious about ICE, and and we can't, there's a lot of things as an educational institution we can't do or say, or but we can provide information. So we're providing that information, that what documents they need, and to memorize a phone number, and to have their documents in multiple places and so forth. Anyway, some basic things that they can feel like they've done something to be prepared. And then we're talking about offering an online class or several, because we are attendance is down because of this. Students have been responding to say, I'm sorry, I'm just afraid to leave my house.
Katrina, what program are you with?
I'm at Norwich Adult Ed.
Yeah, so I think definitely having them feel a little prepared, right? A little more like there is a plan in place can help decrease that anxiety. So Katrina, thank you for sharing that. Anything else?
I'm sorry, I just jumped right back in, but we are hosting a presentation next week from the Immigration Advocacy Support Center, which is a legal agency in our community. They're going to speak about a plan, what you need to have prepared, several aspects. And we're going to have 3 rooms. We'll have the person from the agency present in Spanish in one room. We'll have another staff member present in Creole in a second room. And I'm going to take on the English only section in the third room. Then we'll come back together for Q&A with the woman from the agency. But I don't know if it'll be obviously valuable, and I think a lot of staff is going to attend. But the people who really need to hear it are already staying home. And so that's a disappointment, and it's also kind of scary. Secondly, we have 2 Catholic churches in town, and one of them has a strong Spanish speaking community and services in Spanish. They are collecting, they have a list of things that they're collecting, including women's sanitary products and basic foods like beans and rice and things like that. They specifically said, please don't send your American macaroni and cheese and stuffing mix and turkey gravy. So,
Jennifer, who are you with? What?
New London Adult Education.
London. Okay. I love that okay. Now it makes sense. The agency that's coming. I love that you're doing that. And Katrina, I love that you're helping people be proactive with getting documents together and so forth. At Shoreline, we've shared a lot of information. We have a bulletin board with family preparedness plan information and red cards, and we have a Google Drive folder with USA Hello and a lot of resources. But I like that you're both being a little bit more proactive. It's been hard for me and for many of us to know how proactive to be, because here on the Shoreline, it's a little probably less intense than it is in New London or New Haven or Norwich or Hartford. This is helpful.
I feel it's frustrating that last year we did a big campaign with red cards, and what I see on the news, nothing matters.
Well, and the students are well aware of that. I think I have a friend and neighbor who does immigration and health law in New York State, and she said, the most basic thing is, I want to remain silent. I'm not going to sign anything. I want to speak to a lawyer. And those are contained on the red cards to the extent that you can actually do that. But she agreed. They're just blowing right through all of that.
I was going to ask that. Has anyone actually heard if that's working? If they say things like that?
Heard about what?
If they say things like that, like are they actually respecting those comments now? I don't know. Because it seems very, like you were saying, Jennifer, it's very kind of like, all right, they don't care. So
That's just what I see. I haven't seen, were we all, I know Melissa and Angie, you were there at the ESL day. The woman spoke at the very end about, she was from Willimantic.
Yes, I got verification of what she said. Are you told that she had talked about the increase in ICE officers?
Exactly.
So, yeah, so I was at a session, I live in Guilford, and an attorney came to speak at the library, and he said what she said, which was, for the most part, I think there've been about 10 ICE officers in Connecticut, and they're going to quadruple that up to 40 or 50 altogether. And the attorney who has worked with ICE for many years, he said a lot of the old regular agents quit when this administration came back, and he felt that the new people are not well trained. I'll just leave it at that. Um,
I wish those retired those retired officers would, if they quit on a basis of morality, I wish they would present themselves to the community and try to help from their perspective.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, did the woman from Willimantic say anything else? That's what I remember is her news about that.
Well, she did say that the increase, from 10 to 40, 50, 60 officers, but also that Connecticut was a great location because we had easy access to detention facilities.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Be more aggressive towards community. Oh man, I know she did mention just how prepared we should be, and I think that was where I was kind of headed with this is how are we preparing our students? How can we prepare our community with that? So Jennifer, what was the name of the agency that you used to bring them in?
Their acronym is IASC, IASC, and it's Immigration Advocacy and Support Center. I know
And
they've
they're
visited
located,
with Norwich too previously.
I think they concentrated in the southeastern part of the state because I think I've contacted them, or maybe I just looked at their website where Branford is a little bit out of their area.
Yeah, interesting though, because at one time, and Katrina, I don't know if you know this, the lawyer, Jessica, she was commuting on the Amtrak from Stamford.
Oh,
And in my opinion, if she had really wanted to hop off in Brantford, she could have.
true.
But it's not my life, and I'm not her keeper, and I'm not positive that she's still there because haven't seen her photo on the webpage recently.
Yeah, I think she is no longer the director, but she is still on as a consulting attorney.
Okay.
That's what I saw. And we in Norwich we work with LEAD. They just rebranded from Latinos for Educational Advocacy and Diversity to Leaders in Educational Anyway, LEAD is their acronym, and they have several sites throughout Connecticut. And Kelly Sheehan is the director of the Norwich site, and they have put together on the 26th there will be a panel discussion with all kinds of. They did this once before, about a year ago, or in the spring, I guess, with like local police, somebody from Joe Courtney's office, somebody from various state representatives, as well as the lawyer. JFS, the Jewish Family Services, recently opened an office in Norwich, and they have a full-time attorney and assistant here in Norwich. So they're handling where IASC was our go-to for many years, but so now we do have a local place that students can get help. And one of the things at LEAD, Kelly got her notary public, became a notary public, so she can notarize things for free for students and people who need their documents, for family preparedness documents notarized, which seemed like a very helpful.
Katrina, is the panel discussion, is that open to the public? Is it going to be streamed?
I was just about to ask that as well. Yeah.
I wish it were. I can find out. I know Iris out of New Haven did one recently, and theirs was streamed. I participated in that, and it was great. All you had to, they had you didn't have to sign in. You didn't have to be registered and signed in. So they were trying to make it accessible. A lot of these, and I expect the one here in Norwich on the 26th, are going to be attended mostly by people involved in helping immigrants rather than the immigrants themselves, because it's just too scary to show up at a in a situation like that. There, and I hope, Jennifer, I hope that your people, at least by having it on site there, where you have some control, that the students are able to get that information directly from IASC. That's been a kind of disconnect with all the uncertainty and fear is, you have kind of the intermediaries that you tell this person and they try to get the news out to the students.
Well, I'm hoping that the students who do attend, I mean, throughout the Haitian community, they're all attentive and aware, but there's a significant portion of our students who are attending now who are not in a precarious immigration status. They're green card, or they're already naturalized, or they're just not from a country on a list or things like that. So they feel okay coming. But for example, my student who's got her green card, she's connected to the Latino community, so maybe she can get information out by being safe here to hear it. She can help to get it out to the ones who are locked up at home.
Mhm.
And Jennifer, would it be a possibility to maybe put this on, like have a virtual one as well? Or like if you so let's say, and it might not be a possibility, but um, kind of teach your students now how to log on to Zoom, in class when you're there, log on so you can at least like stream this so they can listen in at least, practice, or like a Google Meet or whatever it is, whatever platform.
I like that idea, Angie. I could really speak to the IASC people about doing a virtual meeting.
One, or even if you just find a way to stream the one that's happening that that day. And if you have, I know it's kind of soon, but maybe it's time from them to now you teach all your students how to log on, so even if they're not there, the students that are going, if they're not there, they can log, or something along those lines would be great to provide options for them to.
Mm-hmm. That would take a little planning and preparation. So, and later is not better. So there's a little task for me.
Don't mean to give you more work, but
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
yeah,
Because we already do have online classes, so we could send a link to that online class, and not only the students who are attending those online classes, but we could broaden the invitation and give the opportunity for a lot of people to connect on that day that she's presenting.
Yeah.
I
So it would
think
just
the anonymity that that Iris provided was super. They didn't have a photo or a name or anything. They just could be there listening and seeing that. But that's a good idea to make sure students know how to, have Zoom loaded on their phone or know how to access.
how to click on the link and everything, make sure they're muted and that their cameras are turned off, and just to be able to listen.
But as I look at you all right now, I mean, we've all chosen to type our names in. You could just write the word student, or everybody could be Maria or Juan, or whatever they are. It could just be something anonymous.
Yeah.
Donald.
That's a good one.
You could definitely have options for them, right? And there might even be ways to set it up. Let me know, Jennifer, if you need any help. I can look into that to set it up so that they don't have to like see the people on the call. There's ways that they can like sign up for it and things like that. So let me ask my tech guy Jose over here.
Oh, Jose. Hi, Jose. We,
Sure.
as a district, we use Microsoft Teams. Right now, we are all on Zoom, but I don't know if we're restricted as a district.
Maybe. Actually, let me get him on for a second, and then sorry, it's a tech question. Is there a way, let me take my phone off. Is there a way to have people come in?
Where we don't, and we can't see their names, so we don't want their names to show up on the screen or anything, or just anonymity purpose. Or even just hide them just so that they can just listen, like make it more of like a webinar type of scenario.
Yes, so you would have to set that up under the Zoom
Is it
website
okay?
and then their webinar. So what
Okay.
will happen is they won't be able to see them.
Okay.
Well, anyone will be able to see them or anyone that's attending.
Okay.
So let's say if you're presenting right now,
Mhm.
right now you have 5, but then you could see them because you're the presenter, but they won't see who's there or they won't be able to
So that
communicate.
is so that is a possibility through Zoom, but I'm not sure through other platforms if you could do the same thing, because it keeps everyone completely anonymous. Like no one will be able to see each other. Only the
Jose,
people.
did you say that perhaps that Angie would be able to see all of us, but we can't see each other?
Yes. So
But
it's
if I turn off my camera, then Angie doesn't see me either.
well, but your name will still show. So in order for it to be anonymous, it will have to be set up as a webinar. Oh, so then you would see the presenter, which would be the teacher, let's say, but the students or anyone that's joining in won't be able to see
Each other.
each other.
Mhm. So no one in the community, let's say, for example, Jennifer, if you set it up, then you would get to see everyone who's on there, but no one would be able to see each other or know who's on the Zoom call or meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a possibility if you wanted to keep it anonymous, so no one would feel, because you would be the only one to know, if they include their name, or it might just be iPhone or whatever it is that they choose to put on there. So,
Geez, to that same, I'm thinking of an adversary somehow getting in.
yeah.
I was thinking in a overhearing kind of a way, but they could, if there were really someone who would diabolical, they could enter as a student and enter as a participant, and that would be awful.
Yeah. But then they wouldn't be able to they're not able to, as a webinar, unmute or say anything.
Exactly.
It's just listening. They can't do anything.
Yeah, the participant will only communicate with the presenter. There's no participant speaking to participants. That will have to be set up in the setting when you're creating that particular session. And then if you're just duplicating that, or if it's a recurring one, then that particular setup is just for, I don't know, like if you're doing like a main delivery. If you're trying to have students interact with each other, I mean, there are ways to do that. If you do, let's say, I don't know, I'm just using Google Doc, for example, and have them all jump in there. But that would have to be outside of the Zoom platform if you have that set up that way.
Yeah, but this is just so that they're able to see, like, there's a lawyer coming to present, so they just want to give money to the community. So it would be
Also,
great.
an information session.
You would like an information session, so it'd be great because then there's no, like, you can't have anyone unmuting or like accidentally like commenting on things or like jumping in. Like you can even disable the chat, I'm pretty sure, to just have like questions and answers that go directly to you as a presenter.
That was my next question, because when you chat, you identify yourself.
I believe there is a way. I've been on webinars. There is a way to disable it. You just get the question and answer button. If they do have a question, then they can submit it to the. I want to say there is.
I mean, is the goal for the lawyer not to know the names either, or?
I feel safe with the lawyer.
Yeah, it's just more
Okay,
people
so yeah,
are
so then
scared to. Yeah, it's just so people in the community don't feel scared that their name is out there, and only like her as a teacher or him as a lawyer are able to see it, and that's it.
okay, yeah, so yeah, that could be that I've seen that set up. Getting instructions wouldn't be difficult. It's just I'll need to see what would the settings be in order to set that up that way, and then everything just goes between the. I think they say like they might be called panelists too. And then whoever the lawyer, let's say, will have the panelists, you'll be the host, and then that you both would be the only ones that would be able to see who's there and the questions. And if you're addressing the questions, then you're reading out the question without names,
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay,
Just
that makes
some
sense, Jose.
just some possibilities. Again, this is not something you have to decide on right now, but let us know and we can definitely help you
Yeah.
set it, like organize or figure out how to organize it so that we can. That goes for anyone. Thank you, Jose, so for making you jump
Thanks,
in.
Jose.
So it's just, again, if anyone else maybe wants to do something similar or would like to, you know, have sessions online or interested in doing more of like the distance.
It's something that we can also help organize if you need help.
Yeah, that's really helpful. There. I'm looking at the second question about what we're doing to ease anxiety, and I think we're just trying to make school a very welcoming place to help that the students who do come, that they're able to have fun and laugh and just have a sense of community where they're welcome is like always been something we tried to do, and now I think it's like so important to these people who are literally sometimes being hunted, that they have those breaks for their own mental health.
Sometimes a little bit of normal is needed, right,
Mhm.
to move away from all the things. So that's great, Katrina, that you're trying to do that for them.
Does anybody have a concept, if, let's leave Haiti out of the equation, but if someone were to self-deport, just is, I don't have a concept of how bad it would be to return to particular countries. I don't know if there's just no jobs and then what are you doing with your life? Or I don't know how bad it is in any particular country for people to return, or who does know that?
I think it probably varies very, very, very much by individual and by country, and by the circumstances by which they left. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's,
in our program, I don't know, but I can't think of any good answers for anyone. I mean, everyone comes from a place where I think they would be in danger of some sort, probably more than just not a good enough job,
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit personally, I guess, in a way. If let's say if I needed to, my family has to pick up right now and go. Um, it would be very challenging because one, I would take a lot of factors into consideration. Yeah, was their life in danger? Thankfully, my family's was not. But do they have maybe support system in their own country? Like for example, in my situation, all that's left is my grandmother there, really. So we wouldn't really have a support system to come back to, right? So it would be kind of figuring that out. Second is finding job, finding a place to live, finding like the necessities again. So it does vary country to country. I'm from Colombia originally, so I would say right now it would not be easy for me to go back and move to this place, who is also kind of not going through unrest and all these very challenging times. So I don't know if there is a specific place to look at this or like a location that we can get this information. It would just be dependent case by case scenario, really. Um,
It would certainly be nice to know what, to hear from people who've left, but I think we tend not to
mm,
there.
yeah.
In Haiti, definitely heard bad things, very vulnerable if you get deported there or even self-deport, that you can become a target and they assume you're rich, even that you could be subject to kidnapping and lots of bad things.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. That's also hard, right? After they've known that someone's lived in the US, it can be hard. A lot of people have very negative emotions to having someone, a family member, or someone they don't know, knowing that they came from the U.S. So it is true. It could be very challenging in that area as well. Alrighty, so I do want to make sure that we are kind of staying on time. I did have a time for an open discussion, but we are a little, I'm going to finish up, and then if we do have any extra minutes, then please feel free to jump in if you have anything else. I do want to mention some of the future roundtables that we have. So we have one set for March and then one for April. They're always at 12. I would love to encourage everyone to come to those as best as you can. It's just great to always have a chance and opportunity to talk. Encourage if you know any other citizenship teachers in any other areas to join as well, because that way we get to hear from more people. Here is my email, by the way. If you do not have it, feel free to email me at any point and we can work through things together. Or even if you just need someone to talk to, I always tell people that sometimes we just need to talk something out with someone. So I'm here to listen or to help you through navigating all these changes that are going on right now. Okay. And then, like I said, you are going to be receiving this PowerPoint with the recording of the session, so that way you have all the resources at your hand. But thank you so much. If you need anything else, both ATDN and digital ATDN, our wonderful digital ATDN staff is also here to help you with the tech side of things. Like you saw, Jose jumped right in. So we do love them dearly. And then also just our regular ATDN folk are here as well. So if you have any other comments or questions or anything, I do have a few minutes left that I can stay on, but I am going to stop the recording now.